Hi guys, it's Hayley again. We're Veterans Only Group. Guess where I am this week? I am still at the fob, but not just the fob. Ashley?
We're here at WarHorse Tattoo, located inside the fob here in DuPont.
We are very excited to bring you a second video from inside the fob. We're going to be going in and talking to Gio and Britt, who are the owners, and be able to share with you everything you need to know about another veteran-owned business.
Let's go.
Bye.
In we go.
Oh, real dizzy.
All right, guys, we're here again for another Thirsty Thursday episode, but we're going to turn it into a feature Thursday today. We are at the WarHorse Tattoo Studio, which is inside the FOB, the Forward Operating Brewing Company, which you can find, walk in the door, straight to the left, and we're all just hanging out. So we've got Gio and Britt, so thanks for having us.
Hi guys, thank you.
Ashley is joining me as co-host today.
I'm back.
She is not at the, she is not at the gym. So, Ashley, do you want to kick off with our questions?
Yeah, do you guys want to tell us a little bit about who you guys are?
Yeah,
Sure.
definitely.
Yeah,
Go.
go ahead.
Oh, all right. So, I'm Brittany. Gio, we've been married for over 5 years now, and Gio served in the Army in Ranger Battalion for 4 years.
Oh, that's awesome.
4 years.
Yeah.
And transitioning out of being in the military isn't the easiest. And, Gio wanted to stick with something that he's really passionate about, and he's always been doing art forever since he was a little kid. So this was the route he decided to go, and here we are. Yeah, want to talk about it a little bit?
Sure. So our background just as in like who we are, right? Like
Yeah, just
as
like
individuals.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
as an
Yeah.
individual.
Okay. So my name is Gio. I grew up in Southern California, and I joined the military when I was around 21, and I just really wanted to challenge myself and do something that nobody else that I knew had done, or just something that seemed kind of out of reach of reality, which was joining a special operations unit. I wasn't always the best kid or the best teenager growing up. I definitely was a little bit of a troublemaker for sure. I had
Someone's got to do it.
And I just had decided I didn't want that to be my legacy, and I didn't want I didn't want to be remembered as just the typical guy who ended up doing bad things, and I didn't want to be remembered for that. So that's when I decided to join the military, and specifically get into a special operations unit. And it worked out to where I got a contract to become a Army Ranger, and made it all the way through. Made it to the unit, did everything I wanted to do, accomplished all my goals. Went to airborne school, Ranger school, had a few deployments under my belt, and yeah, so there's that. And then so post military, I kind of you go through a little bit of a transition process, which is kind of unexpected, and it's just weird. It's just weird coming back into the civilian world, because the military is such a unique subculture. It's its own world, with its own laws and rules and everything. So going back into being able to do whatever you want to do was strange for me.
Yeah.
A lot of people
Do I have to
experience
check first
And
to
it's
see
like-
what I'm
yeah.
doing this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
it's like
do
I
need to
missed
be back at
it.
this time?
I missed it. I missed being able to have my freedom, but when I had it, it was kind of hard to what
Yeah.
do you do with it now?
A bit overwhelming.
So got into a bunch of different things. I didn't really know what I was going to get myself into right off the bat. I went back into a full-time job that I had before the military, and I was miserable. I could not stand it. I could not stand getting up to go to work every morning. And it's a job that I had before the military that I enjoyed. So that was kind of strange. I was like, I've done this before. I enjoyed it. I made great money.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't I like it anymore? And I think it's just because I had already sacrificed a lot of my own being and my own time doing something greater than myself, which was serving the military and serving the country. That I think I was just ready to do something for myself.
Yeah.
And that eventually got me into taking art classes, going to college for art, and then apprenticing to become a tattoo artist, and then finally making it to where I ended up here, and it's been pretty awesome since I've been here. So that's a little bit of my background.
Yeah, awesome.
And I bet it's been nice for you to kind of see him grow.
It
through
has
those transitions.
exactly,
as well.
and I mean it's a challenge, that transition out of the Army. I mean it was a struggle, him going back to that 9-to-5 job, and it just wasn't the right thing to do. You know, he needed to be doing something that, you know, he was really happy. Like he said, he already sacrificed so much being in the military and serving in special operations, that it was time to just be like, you love doing art, just do it. Just go with it.
Do
you
what
know,
you need to do.
I'm good, we're good. Do your thing. Focus on you.
You do you.
Yeah, and I think that's the most important part of just the transition, is just focus on something that you really, really love to do and try to make something out of it. You know, go all in. So
Awesome.
Well, that's so awesome that he has you for support.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's I don't think I could have done it. I'd probably be back on the streets.
What is it? There's that saying that said every great man has a greater woman behind him.
That's correct.
Yeah, no, and it's awesome. Like, we're so
Thank
glad
you.
that we can talk to you both today as well.
Yeah,
So. Cool. What? Oh, cool. So number 2, it's kind of a bit obvious, but yeah. So explain to us about like the business and exactly kind of what you offer here in the studio.
Yeah.
So this is a custom tattoo studio, so it's a little bit different from a street shop, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with the street shop whatsoever. Street shops, they're normally able to take in walk-in tattoos. They do smaller tattoos and flash tattoos, and because I'm so busy and I am pretty booked out and I focus on larger work, that's kind of the deal. So for me, you come in for a consultation, and I focus on larger pieces, so I have a 3-hour minimum, and then I custom design these pieces. You know, 9 times out of 10, I'm completely drawing it from scratch, and I'm spending a lot of time drawing these pieces. Some stuff is a little bit like there's photoshopped images in there. It just depends on what the tattoo is, which that takes time in itself, kind of figuring out how you're gonna position certain things within a design. But custom pieces, big pieces. I don't do small stuff just because I don't have the time for it. But we actually do have a couple days set up in September. It's just like a small tattoo weekend that I'm doing. So for people who
September 13th.
for people
and
who
14th.
want to get September 13th and 14th for people who want to get smaller tattoos. So we're calling it palm size or smaller. I'll book those tattoos, and then I'll be able to do some small stuff. But other than that, it's all bigger stuff that I focus on.
Custom, private, intimate studio setting, nice and quiet with.
Be around the corner.
Yeah, it's really But you know, Gio's big on creating designs that are going to flow with your body and everything. It's very, very custom. You know, we don't want to take images that have already been done by other artists. Everything really comes straight from him. He's been doing art for so long, so it's a big trust process too with our clients. You know, where we ask them to just trust us and trust Gio's process with. He's going to give you the best tattoo that you can get.
Yeah. Kind of stops people going, oh, there's a tattoo shop there. I'm just going to pop in real quick.
Yeah, exactly.
And get one as up.
Yeah.
I know so many people who've done that. And they've just regretted what they got, you know.
Yeah, it happens. I think all of us have one of those. So. Yeah.
Cool.
How did you guys end up here, like at the fob inside of here?
So
funny.
So I originally, we just randomly found out that this place was going to be open. So this place wasn't open yet. We have friends who like to drink craft beer with us. We've always, her and I have, ever since we've lived up here, we drink a lot of beer throughout the Pacific Northwest, and that's been one of our favorite things to kind of do. So while I was apprenticing, I was in between apprenticeships, and I was like, okay, maybe I should go get a part-time job. I had heard about this place from a friend. It was from Karen, one of your friends, and then I was like, I'm just gonna hit him up and see if I can possibly get a part-time job here. So I hit him up, and we did an interview, And the interview went great, and he wanted to hire me right off the bat, honestly, and I had to turn it down because it was like I immediately got another opportunity to do an apprenticeship for tattooing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I wanted to focus on that full time, because the less time you have to focus on an apprenticeship, the longer it's going to take, and the longer it's going to take to learn things. So I decided not to take the job. I had to turn down the job and focus on apprenticing to be a tattoo artist. And so I did that for a while, and we still kept in touch a little bit. And then, so, fast forward down the road, I'm finishing up my apprenticeship, and he shoots me a text, and he's like, when are you going to be done with your apprenticeship? Because I think I want to open up a tattoo studio in the brewery, and maybe have a tattoo studio in here, and maybe do a barber shop in here, make it like a one-stop shop. Yeah, so this was before he had any of that, and I was just like, hell yeah, let's do it. But I wasn't done with my apprenticeship. I wasn't done with my apprenticeship yet. I was like, but I don't know when my apprenticeship's gonna be done. Like I can't just So things happened, and then the pieces of the puzzle kind of fit perfectly with timing, and I ended up, everything kind of worked out perfectly to where I was done there, and it was a smooth transition to come into here. I mean, everything fell into place perfectly.
Yeah, it was meant to be.
Exactly.
I really do believe that. And I really do feel that, and I'm very grateful that I even just had the opportunity to come here.
Yeah.
I'd probably be in a different position, which, who knows, could have been bad, could have been good, but this being here has been pretty special, just as far as like being more involved with the veteran community.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially, in this brewery, it's a very veteran, the decorations and everything. And then the town itself, a lot of veterans, a lot of active duty, a lot of spouses, a lot of Gold Star families too, who stay here. And so that's been pretty amazing, being able to get to know the community and get to know the veteran and just the military community pretty deeply, because I have everybody in my chair for hours at a time, so we're having all these conversations.
It's amazing what you can find out.
I feel like I've gotten to know the community, and we used to live here in DuPont, and I feel like I didn't really know too much about it, even living here for a year. So tattooing here for a year, I'm like, wow, like I really feel a sense of community, and seeing how much they embraced me was also very special to me, because it was reassurance that I'm doing something right, as far as just how I'm treating people, but also the tattoos. I think the tattoos are high quality. I consider myself a pretty high quality, high attention to detail artist, and so those two things, I think, because of that, this overall community has really embraced me and helped me out, and has had my back, and they refer all their friends, and it's been pretty cool.
We've been very, very lucky. They've been, the DuPont community and the military community that's here has just been so welcoming to us. So it's
awesome.
been very, very exciting.
Well, the next thing we wanted to ask was kind of like, what is your mission with this? So obviously one main one would be just giving back, I guess, to the veteran community. And then also, like you said, focusing on more of the custom stuff, which is more personable to people and stuff like that. Is there kind of a bigger picture for you guys, like personally, with something like this, or?
There's just definitely a lot of stuff that we've discussed as far as like things we want to do to give back to veteran communities or organizations for disabled veterans, or just anything along those lines, because I feel like I'm in a position to where I can do these things now. I've already donated tattoo time to certain like charitable organizations that were having events, and those organizations were able to make a lot of good money because people were bidding on my tattoo time. So that was super cool for me to see, like my tattoos being able to help out other people in some way. So I'm in an interesting position to where I could do that. So that's definitely one of the goals, is to just continue to do that, like continue to give back in any way we can to whatever maybe organizations or families that we can throughout my time doing this. So that's pretty big. And then just giving back in general, just with the tattoos too, is kind of something that I didn't expect for it to be like that, but I really do feel like when I'm tattooing some of these people, a lot of them tell me like it's very therapeutic for them to come in here and just sit with me one-on-one in this, in a private setting and do a tattoo that has a lot of meaning to them. And I get to hear all these great stories and, and heartfelt stories and stuff. And I'm there for them in that moment, if it's, it depending on what the design's for. And that's been kind of cool too.
Yeah.
So as far as like our goals and our mission, it's just to continue to give back in one way or another too. And not only veteran organizations too, like we also love animals. Like I want to help out animals. I want to do something for the animals and for, stuff like that. So, we're primarily, a lot of stuff is based around the veteran, thing, but we're thinking bigger than that as well. Yeah. Eventually we will expand out of here. This was a perfect start. Eventually we'll expand out of here. Hopefully stay in DuPont, and then and then give the community something cool as well. Something big, a bigger shop. A bigger shop and a hangout area maybe. Just something cool for people who are
shop animals.
Yes.
Yeah. They're all allowed in the room though. They get tattooing. Yeah. They can pet the dog whilst they wait.
I know.
That's
a little
awesome.
kind of hidden secret about Gio is he's just a huge animal lover.
Yeah.
He is. Yeah.
And that's great as well, because around here there's so many opportunities for volunteer work as well.
Yep.
So,
Exactly.
So just spreading the word. So,
Yep.
How can people keep up with what you guys are doing? Do you guys have a Facebook page or
Yeah.
Instagram?
Yeah, we have a Facebook page. If you just Facebook search WarHorse Studio and DuPont, it'll come right up. So we have Facebook. Gio is very active on Instagram. So our Instagram handle is WarHorse Art.
Okay.
And that's pretty much his full portfolio on there, as you can find all of his work. But we also have a portfolio right outside our door, so if you come into the fob and just want to check out Gio's work, we've got some really nice, crisp pictures in there of the tattoos he's done so far in here. But yeah.
one last question. Yeah. Where'd the name come from?
So
Good question. Good question.
The name, I wish it was more exciting.
Hey, sometimes simple is just easier.
So it was that like simplicity in a name. Also, there was a little bit of a time constraint to where we were like, okay, we
gotta figure it
we're
out.
not we gotta do our business license application. We have to come up with a name. Me going back to me being an animal lover, I've always loved horses, so that was one thing. And then, I've been
just
to
symbolizing
war, and so the thought of a war horse, which was an animal used in war, back in the day, and they were very hardworking, and they had to wear armor, and they were there with the people riding them, and I did think about all this stuff as well when I was coming up with the name, like what it represents, and it just represents hard work and determination, and a type of fearlessness that these animals have. So that's kind of why I came up with the name.
See, that was
a
good story.
Really good.
That's really good.
See, my thing
Just
is,
remember that next time now. We'll send you a copy of this and you can just replay it.
Yeah, I just got a phone call. It's like, all right, the business license says WarHorse Tattoo Studio, so that's it. And I'm like, all right, let's
cool.
let's do
go
it.
for it. Yeah.
I feel like it's really fitting with your background and
Yeah.
your passion.
Yeah, it all kind of does
does.
work together.
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
It's
So-
cooler than you think.
I know,
Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
It is.
It's probably because you guys just like, WarHorse.
Yeah.
Just because you don't probably think
I
about
normally
it.
don't explain it like that. Yeah, because when people ask, I'm usually just like,
Oh, I just
it
love
sounds
horses.
cool.
Cool name. Cool name.
It was going to be more puppy, but it didn't sound as good.
That would be awesome. That would be cute.
That's actually a pretty good one.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, thank you guys so
Awesome.
much. We've had so
Thank
much
you so
fun,
much.
and we're very lucky we get to do this as well. We get to know everybody, on a different level as well, and we'll be sharing this with all of our following as well.
Yeah.
We hope that everything keeps going great for you guys.
Thank you.
You guys are an awesome power couple as well. I love seeing people supporting each other. We see a lot of friendships and stuff, but it's nice that you can do business, together, and then that means that you get to see each other more as
Yeah,
well.
that's awesome.
But yeah, thanks for having us.
Cool.
And
Thank you
thank
so
you
much.
so much. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Woo! Let's all high five. High five. High five.
High five. High five.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
Oh
Don't
gosh.
hit me too.
Oh.